Hey everyone, if you're new to yoga, or even if you've been to a few classes but don't quite know what is going on, join me for this one where we will go back to the basics. Most yoga classes start with a salutation as a warm-up, so we're going to do just that. Come to the top of your mat into mountain pose. Mountain pose is a little bit more than just standing up straight. Your feet will be together and parallel to each other. So parallel doesn't mean the inner edges of your feet are parallel to each other. Instead, draw an imaginary line from your middle toe to the center of your ankle. So for most people, that means the big toes are together and the heels are centimeter and inch apart. Lift your 10 toes up, lower them down. Now, draw the inner thighs back wide and apart, so your bum sticks out a little bit. At the same time, root your tailbone down. Now you feel your pelvic floor engaged. Lift your navel up towards the spine, broaden across the chest, at the same time you're hugging your ribs in. Now your core is engaged. Shoulders are relaxed, arms are straight, palms facing forward, fingers are straight as well. Lengthen through the crown of the head, bring your chin back just a little bit. Surya Namaskara A, or Sun Salutation 1. On your inhale, you raise your arms up, palms are touching, you're looking towards your thumbs. Then you're folding forward, slowly, slowly. First, everything is straight. Your legs are straight and your back is straight. Now you start to round your back and you bend your knees until your fingers are on the mat. Your fingers are in line with your toes. Relax your head down. Now straighten everything again. Your legs, your back, and your hands, your arms. Your hands will rest on your shins. Shoulders away from your ears. Looking forward, neck is long, belly sucked in. Now fold forward again, bend your knees a lot, place your hands onto the mat, spread your fingers, keep your fingers spread and the whole hand pressed down. Step back into plank pose. In plank, you're one straight line from the crown of the head to the heels. Tailbone long, ribs together. Bring your shoulders forward, place your knees down. Bend the elbows backwards. So first the elbow creases are facing forward, then you bend your elbows backwards, slowly, slowly lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes, lift up into your low cobra, elbows are still bent backwards, shoulders away from your ears, glutes engaged, holding here. And then press yourself up, seat to heel, downward facing dog. In down dog, your feet are about hip distance apart. So hip distance means approximately 2 fists. Your heels are relaxed down towards the mat. Your legs don't have to be straight. Try not to have them on lock. So unlock them or bend them a lot. See how you feel. Your hips are raised high. Your belly is sucked in. Your palms are pressed down. Fingers are spread. Neck is relaxed. Now raise your heels up. Look towards your hands, walk your feet forward. Everything straightens again. So your arms, your legs, your back. Hands gone to your shins, shoulders away from your ears, belly sucked in. Now fold forward, everything softens. Your knees are soft, your neck is relaxed, your back is round, and your fingers are on the mat again. Come up with a straight back. Take your arms with you over your head as you do that. Start to straighten your legs. And Samasthiti here. So Samasthiti here is a bit like hitting the reset button. You're at the top of the mat and the arms are by your side. And again, take your arms up. Look towards your thumbs. Arms are straight. Fold forward. First, everything is straight. And then you round your back. And soften your knees. Hands on the mat, fingers in line with your toes. Straighten everything out. Hands gone to your shins, looking forward, suck your belly in, shoulders away from your ears. Bend your knees a lot. Firmly place your hands onto the mat, step back into plank pose. Bring your shoulders forward, place your knees down. Ribs together, tailbone stays long. Elbows will bend backwards, lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes, glutes engaged, lift up into your low cobra. And then from there, press yourself up, coming into downward facing dog. So again, let's go through down dog. Your feet are
parallel to each other. So remember, that means the toes turn in slightly. And your heels are released down. About 2 fists distance between your feet. Legs don't have to be straight. You can have them bend a lot or a little bit. Hips are high, belly sucked in. Arms are straight. Pay some attention if you're hypermobile in your elbow joints. Unlock your elbows. Fingers are spread, neck relaxed. Look towards your hands, raising your heels high, walk your feet forward. Everything straightens, lengthening, lifting, hands go into your shins, shoulders away from your ears, and then fold forward again, fingertips on the mat. Come up with a straight back, palms touching, look towards your thumbs. Samasthiti. Again, raise your arms, fold forward, stay straight, then round. Fingers are on the mat and in line with your toes, so bend your knees if you need to. Straighten everything out, your legs, your arms, your back, hands onto your shins, belly sucked in, gazes forward, neck is long, shoulders away from your ears. Bend your knees a lot, place your hands on the mat, step back into plank pose. Tailbone long, ribs together. Shoulders forward, knees down. One straight line, lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes, lift up into a cobra. And then slowly lower down. Tuck your toes under, press yourself up and come into your downward facing dog. Hold your down dog. Release your heels down, raise your hips high, fingers are spread, neck relaxed. And then lift your heels, look towards your hands. This time, maybe take 2 steps forward. One foot comes forward, and then the other foot comes forward. Lengthen, lift, inhale, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, and Samasthiti. Let's do one more, a little bit faster. Try to incorporate your breathing. On your inhale, raise your arms, palms touching. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Inhale, shoulders forward, knees down. Exhale, all the way onto your belly. Inhale, lift into your back bend, low cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Stay here. Then lift your heels, look towards your hands, and step or walk forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, fold round your back. Inhale, come up, palms touching. And exhale, Samasthiti. So that was Sun Salutation, Surya Namaskara A. Yeah, we leave it with that for today. Let's come to Warrior 1 and Warrior 2. So I drew some lines with chalk on my yoga mat. I hope I'm not going to regret that. And the outer lines are my train tracks. The middle line is my tightrope. So that's very important. Outer lines are train tracks, middle line is tightrope. We start with the Warrior 1. So have your right foot on one line, on your train track line, and your left foot steps back and it goes on the other train line. Your front leg is bent, your back leg is straight. Back toes face forward, approximately towards 10 or 11 o'clock. Right? Hips. Your hips face forward. So imagine you have 2 shining lines on your hips and they want to face forward. Not to the side. Hips face forward. Tailbone is long, ribs together. Front leg bent and your knee and your toes face in the same direction, approximately. Press the outer edge of your left foot down, engage your left glute. Take your arms up. Holding here, gazes forward, Warrior 1. Chest, hips face forward, front leg is bent, back leg is straight. Samasthiti, top of the mat. Other side. So your left foot is on one train track, and then you're taking a step back with the right leg. So right toes face towards 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Front leg bent, back leg straight.
Press the outer edge of your back foot down. Engage your right glute. Hips face forward. Remember your shining lights. Chest faces forward. Ribs are together. Tailbone is long. Take your arms up. Holding here. Front leg bent. Back leg straight. Arms next to your ears. And your gaze is forward. Warrior one. Salutation, top of the mat. Warrior two. Now we're working on a tightrope. So place your right foot on the tightrope. Step back. Take quite a big step if you can with your left leg. And you're on the tightrope as well. So front heel, back inner arch on one line. Now your back toes face towards 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. But not backwards. Yeah? So 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Front leg is bent, back leg is straight. Your front knee faces in the same direction as the front toes. So if the knee buckles in, gently press the knee to the side. Your hips stay neutral, you're not prying them open. Now extend your arms forward and backwards. Your shoulders are above your hips. Tendency is often to lean forward, try not to. Stay here, gaze is forward, relax the shoulders. Warrior two, tightrope. Chest is open, hips are open. Salutation, top of the mat. Other side. Place one foot, the left foot this time, on your tightrope, and then take a big step back with the other leg. So your right toes face now towards 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, but not later. Bend your front leg as deep as you can. Knees and toes face in the same direction. Back leg is straight. Extend your arms. Sink your hips a little bit deeper. Relax the shoulders down. Ribs together, tailbone long. Gaze is forward. Shoulders are above your hips. Warrior two, tightrope. And then step forward. Salutation, top of the mat. So these are the two basic stances. Train tracks, warrior one, and tightrope. Okay? And we will work with that. Salutation A. Arms are by your side. Take an inhale, raise your arms, palms touching, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, step back into plank pose. Bring your shoulders forward, place your knees down. Lower all the way onto your belly. Lift up, inhale into back bend, and from there, come into downward facing dog. Warrior one stance. Take your right foot behind your right wrist. Place your left heel down, toes facing towards 10 or 11 o'clock. Coming up, hips forward, chest forward. Good. And then straighten out your front leg. Take your hands behind you, palms together. If possible, fingers facing up. If that doesn't work, have your fingers facing down. Take an inhale here and an exhale, fold forward over your right leg. Holding here, gaze is your right big toe for 3 more. 2 and 1. Slowly come back up. Bend your front leg again. Take your arms up. Warrior one. Release your hands down onto the mat. And we will flow through vinyasa. So vinyasa is like a half sun salutation. Step back into plank pose. From plank, your shoulders come forward. Place your knees down. Lower all the way into your belly. Point your toes, lift up into low cobra and come into your downward facing dog. Other side. Your left foot comes behind your left wrist. Right heel down. Toes facing towards 1 or 2 o'clock. So you're on your train tracks again. Coming up into warrior one. Chest, hips face forward. Now straighten out your front leg. Take your arms behind you. Palms together. So either fingers facing up, it's a little bit harder, or fingers facing down. Take an inhale here, and then on your exhale, you're folding forward. Gaze is your big toe. Hold here.
For 3 more, both legs are straight. 2 and 1. Slowly come up, back into your warrior 1. Bend your front leg, take your arms up, and then step back. Plank pose, vinyasa. Shoulders forward, knees down, lower onto your belly. Point your toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Warrior 2. Take your right foot between your hands. If your foot comes halfway down, you're a bit stuck here, do not despair. Get hold of your ankle and place it forward. Lower down your back heel onto the mat. Remember, warrior 2, toes face towards 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. You're on a tightrope. So coming up into your warrior 2. Bend your right arm. Observe the distance between your ears and your shoulders. You want to maintain that. Place your elbow onto your thigh. The other arm comes up towards the ceiling. Holding here. If you're collapsing, move your shoulder away from your ears. And then look down. Come up again into your warrior 2. Vinyasa. Both hands down. Step back plank. Shoulders forward, knees down. Lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes, lift up. Downward facing dog. Other side. Bring your foot between your hands. You're on a tightrope now. Back heel comes down and your toes are facing towards 2 or 3 o'clock. Coming up into your warrior 2. Arms extended, holding here, front leg bent, knee and toes are facing in the same direction. Bend your left arm. Take your elbow onto the thigh. Shoulder stays away from the ear. Take the other arm up towards the ceiling. Holding here for 3, 2. Look down again. Coming up into your warrior 2. Vinyasa. Both hands down. Step back into plank pose. Bring your shoulders forward, knees down. Lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes, lift up. And downward facing dog from here. Take your right foot behind your right wrist again. Warrior 1. Back heel down. You're on your train tracks. Come up. Extend your arms up. Front leg bend. Chest, hips face forward. Now interlace your hands behind you. Straighten your arms. Humble warrior. Take an inhale here. And an exhale, fold forward. Just a little bit, you don't need to go all the way down. Holding here, take your arms with you over your head and then relax your head down. Root down through your feet. Hold here for 3, 2 and 1. Slowly come back up. Warrior 1 again. And release your hands down. Step back, plank pose, vinyasa, shoulders forward, knees down. Lower all the way into your belly. Point your toes, lift up. Downward facing dog. Left side. Left foot behind your left wrist. Right heel down. Toes face towards 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Come up into your warrior 1. Now interlace your hands behind you. Back leg straight, front leg bent. Straighten your arms. Inhale. And exhale, fold forward. Holding here, relax your neck. Take your arms with you over your head. For 3, 2, and 1. Come up again into your warrior 1. And then release. Hands down. Vinyasa. Step back into plank. Shoulders forward, knees down. Lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes, lift up. Downward facing dog. Warrior 2 again. Right foot forward, left heel down. You're on your tightrope. Coming up, arms are straight, front leg bent. Now straighten out your front leg. If your stance is super wide, shorten it a little bit. Triangle pose. Holding here, both legs are straight and they stay straight. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Now hinge forward
as if you're offering something to someone. Now you swivel your arms down. Look up, hold here. So imagine you're squashed between two panes of glass. Hold here for 3 more. 2 and 1. Look down. Come up again, bend your front leg, warrior 2, and then release both of your hands down. Step back, plank. Shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale, and exhale, downward facing dog. Warrior 2, left side. Left foot between your hands, right heel down. You're on your tightrope. Coming up. Now straighten out your front leg. Back toe in a little bit. Legs are straight, they stay straight. Length through the crown of the head. Hinge forward, so reach forward. Then you lower down your arms. So you're reaching up and down at the same time. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Look down. Come to your warrior 2. Vinyasa. Both hands down. Step back, plank. Bring your shoulders forward, knees down. Lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes, lift up. And then come into your downward facing dog. Good. High lunge. So in lunge, we also have the hips and the chest facing forward. So take your right foot behind your right wrist again. This time the difference is that your back heel stays off the mat. Now coming up, find your balance, have your hands on your hips, holding here. Tailbone long, ribs together. High lunge. From high lunge we can come into warrior 3. You didn't think there was only 2, right? So start to shift the weight forward into your right leg. Do a little tap in between. Fold forward with the torso until your torso is approximately parallel to the mat. Now lift your back leg up. Keep your back leg straight. Your standing leg can be bent. Flex your left foot. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Take a step back again into your high lunge. Now take your arms up next to your ears. Hold here for 3 more. 2 and 1. Both hands down, vinyasa, step back, plank. Shoulders forward, knees down, lower all the way onto your belly. Lift up, inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. High lunge on the other side. So left foot behind your left wrist. Back heel stays off the mat this time. Your toes are facing forward. So both set of toes face towards 12 o'clock. Coming up, have your hands on your hips. Ribs together, tailbone long. Hold here into your lunge. Now we will transition into warrior 3. Take a little step in between. Fold forward with your torso. Eventually your torso will be parallel to the mat. And then lift your back leg up. Flex your foot. Keep your hips square. So we don't open the hips here. Hold for 3 more. 2 and 1. With control, step back again. With control, I said. Take your arms up. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Both hands down. Step back, plank pose. Bring your shoulders forward. Place your knees down. Lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes, lift up, and come into your downward facing dog. High lunge again. Take your right foot behind your right wrist. Take your left hand next to your right foot. We will twist. Take your right arm up towards the ceiling. Keep your left leg straight, holding here. Stack your shoulders. Your arms create one straight line. Do not throw the arm behind you. Hold here for 3 more. 2 and 1. Both hands on the mat. Walk your hands forward. Step back, plank pose. Vinyasa.
shoulders forward, knees down, lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes, lift up, and then come into downward facing dog. Other side, left foot behind your left wrist. Walk your right hand back until it's next to the foot. Take your left arm up towards the ceiling. Pay some attention to your right leg. Right leg is straight. Stack your shoulders, stack your arms, have one straight line. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Hands come forward, step back, plank pose. Shoulders forward, lower down your knees, come all the way onto your belly. Stay on your belly. You're in a low cobra, so hands are next to the chest. Shoulders away from your ears, your elbows bend backwards. Lift up, lift your hands up as well. It's a strength in your back that is holding you up for 3, 2, and 1. Hands come down, lower down for a moment. If you're happy with the low cobra, you stick with that, or walk your hands back until the fingertips are next to the chest. And then press your hands down, lift up into medium cobra or into high cobra. In high cobra, your elbows are still bent, shoulders away from your ears. Elbows are bent backwards, your hips are on the mat. Press your fingers down, whole of the hand is on the mat. And then slowly, slowly lower down. Either repeat your low cobra or your high cobra. If you want to make it harder, walk your hands back even further for an upward facing dog. Spread your fingers, press your hands down. Lift up through a low, medium, high cobra. Now have your arms straight and your hips come off the mat. Gazes forward. If you're hypermobile in your elbow joints, come on unlock. So unlock them. And then maybe raise your knees, your thighs up as well. Holding here. Very strong pose. Gazes forward. The weight is in the tops of your feet and your hands. Lower down your knees and all the way down. Let's start again with the low cobra. So hands are next to the chest. Your fingertips on line or underneath the shoulders. Lifting up. Draw your shoulder blades down your spine. Lift your hands up. Lower them down again and then lower down for a moment. Walk your hands further down. Press your hands down, fingers are spread, elbows are bent backwards, shoulders away from your ears. Lift up through a low cobra, middle cobra, and a high cobra. Hips are on the mat, elbows are bent, they stay bent. Shoulders away from the ears. Gazes forward, bend your elbows backwards, and then slowly lower down. Upward facing dog, hands go further down. Spread your fingers. Lift up slowly, slowly, until your arms are straight. But you're strong in your arms, you're not collapsing into the shoulders. Holding here, lift your thighs, your knees off the mat as well. Hold for 3 more, 2, and 1. Knees down, and then slowly, slowly lower down. Let that be it with the back bends. Place your hands next to your chest again. Press yourself up, seat to heel, coming into a downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a few times. And then lower down your knees, point your toes. Sink your hips down towards your heels, coming into child's pose. So child's pose is your go-to pose. If you need a break, if you need to round your back after back bends, or if there's a pose you do not feel comfortable doing. So from your downward facing dog, slowly, slowly lift up. Walk your hands forward again. Bring your shoulders forward. Bring them a little bit further in front of your wrist, so they're not above the wrist, a little bit further in front. elbow creases spinning forward. If you find that hard, you can have your fingers turning out a little bit. Bend your elbows backwards, just a little bit. Press up. And again, bend them backwards, press up. One more, bend them backwards and press up. So that's the kind of thing you can do to prepare yourself for chaturanga. There's a whole video about chaturanga in my channel, so you can have a look at that, practice that. We will leave it today. So come into a seated position. So first we'll do down dog again. So into a seated position, you simply lower down your knees, either cross your shins and roll over your hips. If you do not feel comfortable doing that, instead you lower your knees and you swing your legs around, round, until they're straight out in front of you. Dandasana, soft posture. It's basically just sitting straight, sitting upright. Okay, so observe yourself how you're sitting. Do you feel it easy to sit like this, or do you have trouble? Do you round your back? Do you lean back? If you do that, you especially need to practice this pose. Start with your knees bent. Sit upright. Have your shoulders above your hips. Back is straight. Your shoulders are relaxed. You're not pulling them back. Hands are left and right of your hips. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Good. And then now start to straighten out your legs. Flex your feet. If you're happier with your knees bent, stick with that, or you straighten them out all the way. Toes face up, legs are straight, or as straight as you can. Shoulders above your hips. Shoulders are relaxed, away from your ears. Hands are left and right of your hips, and you lengthen through the crown of the head. Now slowly, keeping your back straight, walk your hands forwards. You're hinging from your hips. Let your gaze come towards your big toes. Hold here. Keep your back as straight as you can. Remember, you can bend your knees. For 3 more. 2. And 1. Slowly come back up. Straighten out your left leg. Take your right foot. Place the sole of your right foot against your left inner thigh. Let the knee drop down. If you find it hard, you can bring the foot a little bit further away from you. Hips face forward. You're doing a micro twist until your torso is centered over your straight leg. Hinging from your hips, fold forward again. Holding here. Don't get distracted by all the other people who are getting hold of the foot. Doesn't concern you. If you're super flexible, you can do that. However, if you're starting to round your back just to reach the foot, don't. Place your hands on the mat. Keep the chest lifted. Focus on that. Suck your belly in and then slowly come back up. Switch legs. Back is straight, lengthen, and then hinging from your hips, you're folding forward. So do it properly. Try not to reach for something that's not accessible to you. It doesn't matter. So sometimes people tell me they can't do yoga because they can't touch their toes. It really doesn't matter. That's not what it's about. Holding here for 3 more. 2 and 1. Slowly come back up. Place the soles of your feet together. Bring your heels as close to your hips as you feel comfortable. Roll from side to side a few times. Yeah, if you'd rather have your feet further away, you do that. Bend your elbows backwards. Press your elbows against the inner thigh. Hinging from your hips, fold forward again. Suck your belly in. Keep your back straight. Shoulders away from your ears. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come forward. Come up again. Bring your elbows forward. Round your back this time. Relax your head. Hold here. Your elbows are in front of your shins. for 3 more, 2, and 1. Slowly, slowly come back up. Place your feet flat on the mat. Extend your arms forward. Your feet are hip distance apart and parallel to each other. So check it now, because once you're laying down on the back, you won't be able to do that. And slowly, slowly, vertebra for vertebra, come laying down onto your back. Arms are by your side. If possible, bring your heels a little bit closer towards you. Try not to lose your feet being parallel to each other. Press your palms down. Start to raise your hips, lower back, middle back, upper back up. You can stay here or raise your hips higher. Press the inner edges of your feet down so knees and toes stay facing in the same direction. Now wiggle your shoulders towards each other and interlace your hands. Arms are straight, chest comes towards your chin. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. First release your shoulders, then your hands, and then slowly lower down. Let your knees drop towards each other. Place your hands on your belly. Stay here for a moment. So that was your bridge pose. We will do a second round. Bring your arms by your side. Part your knees. Start to raise your hips. Lower back, middle back, upper back up. Interlace your hands behind you. Wiggle your shoulders towards each other. Press the inner edges of your feet down. Chest comes towards your chin. Holding here for 3 more. 2, and 1. Release your shoulders. Release your hands. Slowly lower down all the way. Now bring your legs up towards the ceiling and hold here. So one of the finishing poses is shoulder stand. And it's a beautiful pose. However, if you're a beginner, it is better to prepare your body for that for a few months or even years. So you can keep your legs up towards the ceiling. So it's a form of an inversion. And then place your feet flat on the mat again. Bring your right knee towards your right armpit. Bring your left knee towards your left armpit. Holding here. If this is enough, you stay. For a happy baby pose, lift your feet up until you have approximately a 90-degree angle behind your knees. Now take your arms inside. So your triceps and your knees are next to each other. Then flex your feet and catch the outer edges of your feet with your hands. Pull your knees down next to your chest. Holding here, happy baby pose. If your hips come up super high, try and root your tailbone down again. Yeah, pressing the tailbone down. Hold here for 3 more. 2, and 1. And release. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll from side to side. Place your hands over your knees. Draw some circles with your knees in one direction. So your knees come apart, then they come together again. And then go in the other direction. Start to rock forwards and backwards until you're in a seated position again. Thank you very much for joining me. So that was Yoga Basics. If you're a little bit more advanced, there are other videos for you here. But it's always good to come back to the basics and learn them or relearn them. Until next time, thank you very much. Namaste.